Facebook certainly deserves ample criticism for its lax privacy standards and its decision to threaten news outlets that exposed them. That said, we've noted a few times now that the uneven press fixation on Facebook obscures the fact that numerous industries routinely engage in much worse behavior. That's particularly true of broadband providers, and especially wireless carriers, who routinely treat consumer privacy as a distant afterthought, with only a fraction of the total volume of media hyperventilation we saw during the Facebook kerfuffle. Facebook's casual treatment of your data isn't some errant tech industry exception, it's the norm, making. In the telecom industry, a disdain for consumer privacy is a cornerstone of their entire business models. Companies like Verizon has been particularly busy on the anti-privacy front. You'll recall that the company was fined by the FCC for modifying wireless user data packets to track users around the internet without telling them. The company was engaging in this behavior for 2 years before security researchers even discovered it, and it took another 6 months of media criticism for Verizon to offer a simple opt-out. Despite the wrist slap, a more powerful variant of this technology is still very much in play at AOL. Not long after that, Verizon played a starring role in gutting modest FCC privacy rules protecting consumers, spurred in part by Verizon's tracking tech. Those rules, which Verizon lobbyists dismantled last year, simply required that ISPs be transparent with what data they're collecting and who they're selling it to. When California tried to mirror the FCC's discarded privacy policies, Verizon, Facebook and Comcast lied to lawmakers, falsely claiming that modest privacy protections would harm children, increase internet pop-ups, and embolden extremism. None of it was true. More recently, Verizon has been facing numerous lawsuits over Yahoo hacks that exposed the data of roughly 3 billion consumers. And while this was before Verizon's ownership, Verizon wasn't informed of the hacks during negotiations, netting it a $350 billion discount. The company has since been actively trying to prevent customers from suing Yahoo, or Verizon over future breaches by using fine print to mandate binding arbitration. The new Oath Terms of Service contain a binding arbitration agreement and class action and jury trial waiver clauses, which are applicable to all U.S. users, the terms say. Congress has considered legislation to ban many mandatory arbitration clauses, but it hasn't followed through yet and the practice remains legal. The AOL terms already contained a binding arbitration clause and class action waiver before Verizon bought that company. The Yahoo terms didn't previously contain such clauses, thanks to And while everybody can agree that the class action system has numerous problems, the system of binding arbitration is a terrible solution. Under binding arbitration, the arbiter rules for the company they work for the vast majority of the time, leaving consumers shit out of luck. While class actions often only net lawyers a nice new boat, they at least occasionally result in substantive change. Arbitration, in turn, is often more like consumer theater than justice. The reality is that informed and empowered consumers are more likely to opt out of efforts to monetize their online behavior. And however breathlessly companies like Verizon and Facebook pretend to be dedicated to consumer privacy or policy solutions, they're going to fight tooth and nail against any policies, even reasonable ones, that could potentially hamstring that revenue. But however bad Facebook is and has been on privacy, Verizon routinely offers a masterclass when it comes to undermining efforts at anything even vaguely resembling a solution.